Well, hello there. Greetings and salutations, and welcome to another exciting dive into Painting Titans. Episode 168. Um, and some. Hi, everybody. How are you? Happy Hump Day. Welcome to Wednesday. And we have some Wednesday night painting action going on. So, Plastic Painter, good evening. Evening to you, sir. Um, so yeah, we are here. We are live. I'm on a little bit earlier because surprise. I was pretty much ready to go, really. So yes. So here, there, we have Direwolf that I built last night. They are, like, compared to the resin ones, they are very easy to work with. Downside to the resin ones is that they're only they are a monopose because the connections, I could muck about with them. I guess I wasn't in the mood for it, to be honest with you. So I have made basically both of them have got the same stance. Difference being, one is looking to its left, one is looking to its right, and the bodies are angled slightly differently to show that. This is based with grey because obviously doing Gryphonicus, I go from a grey base and then add the silver in. This, as voted by the Titan-loving public on Instagram, is going to be a Legio Ozydax direwolf. So with Legio Ozydax, I had a silver primer, well, base coat. So I've done a primer coat and then lead belcher. I've done a primer coat, lead belcher, then remembered, I always say it's Gryphonicus, I got to go back to grey. So this has had 3 coats already. So that's covered. And so is that. But that will be later because I'm doing that. I will also, at some stage, I will be doing some paint testing because I was asked by a friend of mine, pardon me, about a scheme for Legio Volpa. Now, I have painted one for a dead Titan on the base, but that was years ago and I can't remember what the hell I used. So at some point I will be doing a little bit of a painting experimentation whilst probably waiting for things to dry or just to take a break from the norm. Because you are allowed to take little breaks from what you're doing. So you should never be fearful about, oh no, I must do this, got to push on through. You don't. You just take your time. There's no rush. Unless there is a deadline, then there is a rush. So we all get it sometimes. What else has happened? Yeah, there is. I have a Titan that I haven't posted on socials yet because I was waiting for the right moment. Basically, it was the 4th Reaver of my Gryphonicus, and I hadn't named it. So this was one that I got from Ivy, who donated several Titans that she built, but she started painting on them, sort of thing. So I've basically done a little bit of tweaking. There was the arm needed some work to it, and I've changed it from a chain fist to a power fist, purely because of what I was intending for this Reaver. And the other thing was I had to get some weapons from the other Reavers that I've already built, which I've done that now. So I'll do a quick show. So this guy, which if this camera ever monster get into focus. It would be appreciated someday to be in focus camera. Particularly cough. So yeah, purely because it already had the arm glued in. As I said, the chain fist came off. I'll put power fist on it. This has been magnetized now, so melter gun, that was magnetized. So APOC launcher, because that is the loadout of the Reaver Titan. You may have seen on yesterday on Instagram, I posted up like a remembrance post, because I'd come across the pictures from the 2017 demo game that I participated in at Horus Heresy Weekender in Nottingham. And part of the story of that triumphant battle was that there was a guy called Frank, who's from Belgium, and we were sort of discussing what we should do with our battle plan, and he came up with one. It's like his Titan was on the right, left-hand side, and he thought, go up and punch that Warhound. It was as good a plan as any. So I went, yeah, okay, we'll you run off, we'll support. But we didn't get initiative, because me and initiative are fickle friends at the best of times, and Legio Mortis and their Tempestus ally won initiative. So they moved first, and they moved a Titan forward. This Reaver Titan, a Mortis Reaver. And I looked at it where they moved it, because I don't think the Princeps realised what he was doing. Because again, this is the first time out in the wild. Well, it was technically the second time, because there was a demo game on a Friday night. But that was pre-event sort of thing. So on this one, there was a few people there. It was out in the main sort of like hallway bit in the Belfry Hotel in Nottingham. And I looked over and I thought, oh my god, he's just walked his Titan into a kill zone. So literally where he moved forward, because there was all these like tower blocks. Again, if you see the socials, the pictures, they're up there. There was just like, they made tower blocks and stuff. And it was basically, it was up to be shot by 4 Titans. Whereas the... Sorry about that. I've got a tickly cough. Maybe beer will help. So, yes. And I said to Frank, change your plan. We're all going to roll to the right and take out that Reaver, because a Reaver's bigger than a Warhound. So it was worth more sort of points, basically, because of scale. But Frank went, no, Warhound. I went, no, we're going with the Reaver. No, Warhound. So I just went, okay, you go for the Warhound. We'll focus on this dude. So that was it. And he went stomping off, drew so much fire from the enemy, because he was like virtually out in the open, but he was determined, and his determination paid off, because in the second turn he got up close. He'd already like stripped the shields, shot it a little bit, and then it's punched this Warhound into oblivion. He's literally done an uppercut, and James Hewitt, who was running the game, said, yeah, you basically just chinned it off the board. So yay! First kill to the Loyalists. No, it wasn't the first kill, actually. It was the second kill, because by then we'd absolutely obliterated this Reaver Titan. But yeah, he's took out his target. He's also, as I said, drawn a lot of fire. He was badly damaged. He was smoking left, right, and centre, basically. And but he was still going, and he was still moving forward. He eventually lost the weapon armor, took the weapon out. He only had the missiles still firing. And they obviously saw him as a threat because he was moving towards them. Not very fast, but he was moving towards them. And it came round to the repair phase in the third turn. So by the time we got to the third turn, the Loyalists had 5 engines, the traitors had 2. They had an untouched Reaver at the back because the Princeps who started with it had to go to bed, and somebody else took over, and they just wasn't really getting involved that well. You know, they rolled some dice, but they weren't moving it. The Warlord was getting dog's abuse because obviously it was the last thing left after we'd blown up the 2 Reavers on the right hand side, the Mortis and the Tempestus Reaver, and Frank had killed the other one. And so it comes to the repair phase, and unfortunately Frank blew up doing his repair roll. So his reactors had been pushed, he's rolled his dice, and he's blown up. So it was a sad moment, you know, but he achieved his objective, and it was just such, you know, we were just laughing at like how much pain he'd been through to get there. And we started saying like, oh, it's Frank on the flank, hashtag Frank on the flank. And yeah, he became like a little sort of like hero. Hey Luke, hey Toby, hey, hello. And yeah, so basically end at turn 3. So Frank had blown himself up, and then one of the Warhounds with the legendary name of Wee Bob pushed his reactors. It didn't need to, but it's a demo game, and like the guy goes, I want to get right round the back. I went, well, you have to push reactors. So like if you just move forward, you can get on the side. No, I want to get round the back. I went, okay, whatever. You know, it's a demo game. Go for it. You know, what's the worst that can happen? And James said, right, okay, you got to roll a dice, anything but a 10. And he rolled a 10. So he blew up. So the casualties taken that day were not inflicted by the enemy. They were purely self-inflicted. But as I said, once I would fiddled around and painted this, I thought I haven't even named it, and so I have named it technically Frank on the flank, but in the Latin form it is known as, if he looks it up quickly, where is it? Sorry. So in Latin is Absentia Lateri, is its name, which loosely translates to, well, it's what I put in as Frank on the flank, but he actually says, I agree with that side. So, and that's a permanent loadout there with the Power Fist, which I'm sure Luke will appreciate and approve of. But yeah, so this is in honor of Frank on the flank. The head is a little bit different, but yeah, who cares? So it's not 100% exact to the Titan that he used, but it is Frank on the flank for all intents and purposes. The close combat warhound chinning Reaver of Gryphonicus. So yeah, so anyway, we'll get back to this dude. How is everybody anyway? You're having a good week? It's hump day. Congratulations. Fisty McFist, I like. I know you do. You do like a bit of fisting. But yeah, so Dawnstone, need Administratum. So I use air, but I'm brushing. The Dawnstone first on the plates. If I can find a brush that will accept the challenge. So Reaver Titan Conversion Beamer. So I've actually got a box of these packs, and I thought I'm gonna paint that one up at some point, build and paint it, but I haven't got around to it yet, obviously, because I'm doing other important stuff. That's Booba Shaker. First time of the evening. How are you, my boy? Anyway, you when are you going to come down and see your old man at work? You know, it's not as if I haven't got some stuff for you. Not the best week, to be fair. A lot of tests and whatnot. Oh no! What's going on? You message me, you know, privately and stuff if you want to, you know, tell me what's going on. As some of you may or may not be aware, obviously painting grey on grey is a bit of a challenge. But luckily, I can from here, I can see what's what. But obviously, you may not be able to see what's what because it's grey on grey. I'm just using an old brush because it doesn't really matter about being tidy on this because I'll be covering over anyway. And I'm not necessarily a tidy person when it comes to painting because I'll clean up after the fact. But air paints give you a nice fluidity. Lovely word. Hard to visit at work now. I do 9 to 5. I get weekends off. Oh well, yeah, weekends are alright. I do tend to work most weekends. Even if you just wanted to pop down for an hour, you can do that. I don't mind. I'll let you. I'm only saying that because I've got your stuff. I give Sif the Mechanicum stuff finally as well. He popped in. He popped into work because he was down the other day to pick up a 3D printer off of Martin, who lives like 20 minutes away. So he popped in and picked up the oh bloody, you got the big tank in the stuff that you sold him. He was telling me about his retirement plans from the Navy. So, good luck to him. He's earned it. Oh, loves his stuff. Oi, oi! Hello there, my goosey friend. And how are you today? Have you been honking today? Honking at people randomly walking past you? Oh. So the gun casings and the head are going to be in yellow. This is kind of standard for these guys. Although I have done a few where I haven't painted the gun casings. The heads have all been yellow, but gun casings not so much. Oh, okay, Tom, no honking today. Oh, well, maybe tomorrow they'll be honking. Gotta honk at people. You can't let that honking build up and being stuck inside. You need to honk. Right. So that is all the plates covered in Dawnstone. So you see it's quite quick in that respect. Really, I should actually like that one, not so much because there's no real armor plates on that, the neutron blaster, but these two. So what I'll I'll pop a bit of this on. So just to take the silver edge off of the lead belcher. Yeah, you know, that's the thing. You paint it all silver, what do you expect? It just gives it a greyer base for when I go over with Uriel Yellow. I don't need to do that with the head because it's already grey. Because obviously if I didn't do that, then there would be a significant difference in the tone of the yellow going onto lead belcher versus going onto grey. So when you do those sort of bits and pieces, and lahon. Nice. Slightly bigger brush now because I'm going to be doing lead belcher. Right. I've been channeling my inner goose and treating my co-workers with as much rage as I can muster. If anyone can muster enough rage, it's you, Tobe. I salute you and your honkiness. Right. I'm doing a bit of a mission. Get off. Because I'm using lead belcher air again because it's a lot more fluidious, and because I'm just such a lazy fucker. Auntie Gizmo, good evening to you, sir. Oh, actually, Auntie Gizmo, just give me a moment. I think tomorrow I might just honk at people that annoy me. Do it. do it. Unleash the honk. It was the way of the honk. I'm sure Chrissy would approve of any honking activities, as long as it's done respectfully. Unless the person is a complete bellend, then you can be condescending with your honks. For you are not a bellend. La, 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 la. So, Luke, is that up in Unleash the Goose? Is that up because you're up in Cambridge now, aren't you? Or Cambridge area? I work in insurance. We're all bellends to a degree. Oh, fair. That's fair. You accept your bellendness. So, honk. I mean, did he? Hold on a sec. Yeah, it's not too far from my where my sister lives. She's up in well, she's currently in Burwell, but she will be moving. They've just getting their house sorted out, but they're moving still within the near the area. Um, but yeah, because she's a nurse that specialises in that field. But yes, so Toby's honking. Oh yeah, sorry. Um, Gizmo. My first MG kit turned up. I finally got myself a Zaku. um, they are a lot easier to build compared to the resin ones. Um, Posing, I was saying when I first came on, the posing on them are a little bit. Well, you can only do one leg stance standard. Like, and you know, like how I used to do with the Warhounds, where I would swap the legs around. You can't do that with these because they've got their little nipply bits are set. So you can only have that nipply bit into that leg unless you do some cutting and stuff. And at the time, I wasn't in the best of moods to do that, so I thought sod it, because they're going to be in different legos anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So they're not going to be like lined up together. So I didn't bother. No, that's the wrong bloody thing. Where am I? There I am. Bosh. Yes. So, they're value for money, yes. And especially seeing as you get more weapons with these as well. So you've got your three weapons choices of the neutron blaster, the conversion beamer, and the volcano cannon. So yeah, so that's a Reaver class volcano, Reaver class Doodah sea beamer, and the neutron blaster. So that's the thing that shuts Titans down when you shoot them. Although they only shut them down for a phase, not a turn. So if you shot something in with first fire, for example, in the orders phase, then that Titan would shut down for the orders phase if you were successful in shutting it down, because you got a roll for that. So if you make a penetrating hit, you will shut it down on a 3+. But if you glance, so basically if you don't get the armor penetration, so it's a superficial hit, you still get a chance to shut it down on I think it's a 6+. So even if you miss, you could technically shut it down. So, but it'll only be shut down for a phase. So it's not like the sabotage thing, stratagem, where you can basically just turn off a Titan for a turn. So, but even that, is quite a nice thing. Because I tried it when I was up at Warhammer World. I was playing Gondas, and I was using a direwolf because I hadn't used one. So I used a direwolf, and he took out a Reaver Titan from basically shooting. So if you're shooting first, you target something, knock it out. It can't fire for first fire. Can't do its orders. And once it reactivates, it's missed the order phase. It can't do anything. And then you shoot it first again in the combat phase, so it doesn't get to do anything. So that's a lot of fire, depending on weapons it's got, but that's always handy. And it's what they're there for, to take out enemy Titans, any way, shape, or form. I shut down Rob's Reavers the other month. It was very satisfying. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. If you've got small Titans and you see a couple of biggies sitting there, shutting down a Titan is, quite helpful. So it's not, well, you're still shutting it down. So if you shut a Titan down, it doesn't have shields because you've basically just turned it off. So it makes it easier for other Titans to damage that Titan if they can shoot it. Obviously, they might not be able to shoot it because you intervening cover and stuff like that. And you may still miss as well, but you are making a sitting duck out of someone. But it could be worse. which yeah, does happen on occasions. Right, let's do the fifth. Yeah, again, it's like with the kit, like with Warhounds, you have, you know, two variants of heads. You don't with direwolves, unfortunately. Would have been nice. So just this, oh, a little bit there, and the exhausts. Did you everyone see the new models for the subscription for Warhammer TV? They're like inquisitorial dudes. Look very nice. Because you also get some other little support characters with it as well. So it's definitely sort of something that you could, even if you did go with Warhammer TV, you know, there's loads of content on. There's more content on there now, at least. Um, but you know, the models themselves. You know, when you're paying out your subscription, you know, was it about 50 quid for the year or something? I don't know. I stopped subscribing because I didn't like the models. The ones before, I liked the models, so I subscribed. Because it was like, you know, you're paying half of it, so you're getting Warhammer TV and all the other resources, and you're getting a model from them. So it seemed, yeah, worthwhile. Yeah, both look sweet. Yeah, you definitely like you got your lots of options there to pop them into sort of 40k armies and stuff. Right. I've got another little touch up with the Dawnstone because I did make a little bit of a mess in the odd place. They both look very nice. Yeah, they are very nice. I'd say probably looking at the best kit so far. You know, the sniper dude was all well and good. The orc, yeah, it was all right, but if you're not into orcs, which I'm not, so that wasn't going to be an option. But no, as I say, they do make nice little, you know, incentives to invest. So So yes, my first full size master um, master grade Gundam, and it's Char Aznables well, Zaku, or Red Comet. There is actually, for those people that do look at the sky, um, there is some comet, a green comet, that's coming in. It's going to be peak viewing is up until about the 12th of September, and it appears in the constellation Leo. So you might have to be like early morning viewing for that. But after that, you'll lose it in the sun. Right. Booba Shaka. It's a sign from the horned rat. Could be. It could be. I've heard of Scaventide. Those cheeky little ferret mongers. Right, I'll try something new and dangerous. Certainly and dangerous. It's not really dangerous, but it's new. So where I don't chuck away brushes, I've got a lot of brushes in various states and conditions. So I just literally just cut off some really wild looking tufts from it. To make myself a stipple brush. Because you want to have that sort of stippliness for when we wash over it. So I'm quite glad at how this is actually working out. Again, you can't really see it, but there is it's very subtle. Now, a lot of my stuff is very subtle. So sometimes the pictures do not do it justice, but it is there. Can't believe it's almost an end of the month. That's stifled. Hello, Silver Scratch Build Productions. Hello, peeps, indeed. And how are we today? Booba checker. Right. So Uriel. Oh, Uriel. Oh, God damn it. Uriel yellow. How are you, Silver Scratch? What are you up to this evening? I need a beer too. Be right back. 1 hour into my 10-hour paint day. Go for it. I had on Saturday last a paint day. I basically woke up and painted pretty much all day. Started about 7:30 because I was watching sort of like YouTube reels and stuff, as you do. And then I thought, you know what, I'm just going to get up and just go for it. And I painted a Dystopian Wars Xenophon battleship for the Enlightened. And then I painted a load of little smally ships for my Italians. And then what did I can't really remember what I painted in the evening. Might have been a Titan. I think it was a Titan. I think it was that Reaver that was showing a little while back. So it was a very productive day. So good luck with your 10 hours of hobby production. I want one of those Titans 40k scale. Well, I have seen several people who have on like the internet who have 3D printed themselves one. So there's that. You know, and I don't. It's not that I don't condone 3D printing. 3D printing is a useful tool, but obviously being part of the Titans Owners Club, you know, we have a look with 3D printing in regards to that. Obviously, where we're doing our big games, for example, AT has a lot of weapons, but they don't make them from Forge World. So we do sort of like go, well, if it doesn't exist, you can print yourself one, sort of thing, as long as it doesn't look derpy, because again, it's all aesthetic. But it's under the condition that if Forge World do produce that type, particular weapon, then you basically get it. So you stop using the 3D printed one. But whilst it doesn't exist, yeah. It doesn't extend to Titans though, technically, because obviously that's a little bit cheeky. Especially existing Titans that do exist. Because people do print off themselves like warlords and stuff. And the thing is, it's like, oh yeah, it's going to be cheaper than the real thing. It's not going to last as long as the real thing because obviously the resin and plastics break down. So, you know, until they improve the materials and all that jazz, you can, yeah. Oh, it's a 5-day-a-week thing for me. I paint every day, Monday to Friday through Friday. Good hours. Well, especially, you know, it's in your title, you're scratch built, so yeah. um, I was who did the somebody did it's been being shown around in various places. The someone made a Warhound Titan out of sprues, like bits. Really impressive. That level of model making is really cool. And so, like my mate Lee Godden, who goes by the name of Goddenzilla on Instagram, definitely worth a follow. He's the guy that scratch built the Imperator that has appeared at like Warhammer Fest with the Titans Owners Club and Beachhead. So he spent like 3 years building that beast, and it is really, really, really good. Yeah, didn't you share that in the Discord group? Gizmo. I got that sent to me quite a lot. Ah, so I remember a poster when I see one. Mm-hmm. You should be able to post. 1 moment corner. Don't think I've done anything on the settings to block posting of links, because I asked people to post links before for their like Instagrams and YouTube channels and all that sort of stuff. Right. Well, I have a template for the Warhound. I just have to tweak a bit and build a template for the weapons. Alright. I'll put that to one side for a moment. And now we're going to do some colour theory, he says. Right, so right. Should I brush my hair? Right. I'm going to try some random shit. Right, booba shaker. So this is what I was saying about earlier on. I'm going to try and work a scheme that's not too bonkers. I'll try. mild, say mild, some little adjustments. I'm just going to blow your ears off with the thing. Oh, hello. Good evening, Phil Thompson. Hello, everybody. How are you? And hello, Arnold. Evening, please feel free to accompany me on my journey back home. Okay, well, we're here. I spent today fitting an entire laminate floor by myself. Well, I'll drink to that, sir. Congratulations. And that is my ballpark, so to speak. Booba shaker. That's better. Is the I'm assuming the background noise, the soundtrack isn't too bad, because nobody has made mention of it or moaned about it as yet. Right. Where am I looking? I'm looking at notes. Right. So I'm going to give this a try. So this is going to be Flesh Terror over. Basically, I stippled Screaming Skull over Lead Belcher. So this is that red is what we're trying to gain. So this is just I said, it is a process. This is what I do when I'm trying to figure out schemes. So let's give that a blast again. I'm going to take a stage photograph. So that's that. Now, I wish I had been drinking to it. Yes, drink always helps numb the pain of thick laminate. Right. So what's the time on this? Wow. Right, so I'm going to re-stipple the Screaming Skull over the top of what we just done. you want it to be random. You don't want it to be all neat and tidy and stuff because it's meant to sort of represent like rotted flesh. Right. Right. Give that a blow. Take a swig of beer. And that's what I was looking for. Just prior to coming on the stream, I was going through boxes of paints. So, and I thought we'll try some Corberg Crimson. So just wet this brush down a little bit. Hairdryer. And take a picture of that. Francois and Marion, salute, and Crystal McDowell, hey, 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 hey. I'm just doing some colour theory. That's what I'm calling it. So, just been experimenting with stuff. Might have to do a little bit of stuff there. Oh, okay. What's the theory? Basically, a friend of mine asked me to try and come up with one of my easy paint schemes for a Titan Legion called Legio Volpa, who have a very unique sort of look to their scheme, which you're not really going to see that well, but it is a very, they say it's like the colour of spoiled meat. It's a, but they've also got it in purple as well. So I've got, but I'm working on the red at the moment. So, it's passable. Let's try with my. There's my wash. There's my wash. So the brush. I'm using all the brushes. How rude of me. So, Crystal, are you in the loft hobbying? And Francois, are you hobbying at all this evening? I'm about to do War Griffin Knight Castigator for 40k, 30k. Nice. Yeah, the War Griffins, which that's the one I'm painting at the moment. That's the one I've painted at a weekend. It's the camera. Cameras. Hey, what are you gonna do? So this is my go-to wash, which is just basically Agrax diluted down quite a bit. So it's very watery. Kind of like that. Yeah, that's what I did. Although I use heavy stippling with stipple brushes. So unfortunately the camera doesn't do it justice. There is, I don't know if you can see it. If this was able to actually focus this. No, you're not going to see it. Sorry. But yeah, I do very subtle stipples. There is a stipple on all of these. You might be no, you can't see it. No, it's not even it. Stop bouncing. You can see it on the groin section there. But that will change as I add and apply washes. But yeah, so the reason why I use stipple brush because I started off when I first done my very first stippling scheme, which was bloody hell, 2018. So I thought because Solaria was the third Legio I started, so 2018, no, 2019. So yeah, so I done. I used to use sponge stippling then. Occasions depends on the size of the model, but I use various like stippling brush methods with a lot of these now because I find it, for me personally, it gives a little bit more control. I've tried using little bits of sponge and like the tweezers and stuff like that, and yeah, it can work, but there's a lot more work in the tidy up sort of thing because I'm not the tidiest to start with, so I always come back to doing a lot more sort of cleanup. That way lies madness, maybe, but that's how I work. But yeah, with the classic War Griffins scheme, obviously the superstructure was also yellow, as opposed to like most of them now, which are being all metallics with the stuff. So I had the same thing when I've done my Where is he? So when I did my Ignatum with was it red arms, missing a weapon arm there, and then like the the really dodgy camouflage. Because I was looking at really bad pictures, but I need to do some more work on that at some point. Greetings, young warrior. How goes the blood war? Blood war is always fun. How goes the new camera phone? Have you taken any pictures yet? Alright, sorry. Where are we? Ooh. Where are we? Sorry. Sorry. I was sending this over to my mate. Right, sorry. Right, what was I? No, you can set off. Right. Anyway, back to painting Titans. So I'll do the purple one later on, because I'll do a purple work. Loving it. Still learning all the features. I will really give it a go at the weekend. Cool. What cameras do I usually? This one is, hold on, is I don't know what. Oh, it's a Logitech, that one, and the one here is a Logi 720p sort of thing. So this is a 4K. The Logitech one's a 4K one, which is annoying because obviously the 720p is a lot clearer than the image I'm getting here, but then I'm a bigger feature in comparison to what's down here. So it can focus on my fingers, my knuckles. and stuff. But yeah, painfully, because the last one I had was a little bit more. Right. Obviously that side. So you'll see a little bit more of the mottling. Yes, it's not as standoutish, but I always do subtle. That's how I work. I don't go OTT. So it's when you're standing there looking at it, you can see it, sort of thing. Because on the tabletop, you're not going to see it. But when you're like inspecting the troops, you can see it a little bit better. You can see it at the sides there, on the rear. So yeah, it's everyone's taste is different, but that's how I do mine. A green cutting mat with 1-1 squid. I do have a cutting mat somewhere. Don't know where. I'll look into that at some point. Right, what do we do now? Lead belcher. Not lead belcher. Don't want lead belcher. I want the gold. Booby shaker. It's very noisy today. I think it wants to be heard. So, flat brush. Just that. Repossession. So I'm just holding breath. I just remembered that I shouldn't really have stuck those bloody things in. It makes it a hell of a lot easier to paint trim when you can actually get to it. And so like, you can use like Sharpies. I know Mark Bedford was the first person to mention about using Sharpies at one of the Horus Heresy Weekenders years ago. But I've tried it. I weren't quite happy with the gold, and I had a tendency, even though it's a permanent marker, it still rubbed off. So I just thought, sorry, I'd rather just take the time and paint it. So that's what I do. So just getting those flat brush in. Half the time it's just basically getting used to using a flat brush. and knowing what angle to approach. Yes, they might make mistakes, but obviously at this stage it doesn't really matter because you can tidy it up with a little bit of dawn stone. Unless you've really ripped it, because once we've done the trim, we're just going to wash over the entire thing with the Agrax water mix. So you've got to check out on a cutting mat. I've definitely had one, a massive one, but because I haven't utilised it for cutting. And I use these are like vinyl squares because I get them from work for nothing when we chuck out flooring ranges. Benefits of working in a flooring store. And very difficult to hear. Probably I did ask earlier on because I did have something the other day with the sound. Some people were having trouble with that, so I've turned that right down, so I can just hear it here. But when I'm being a little bit more focused, I do tend to go down in tone. Normally Richard is quite helpful in that regards, with the old sound. Are you watching this on your big TV? Stream is always very quiet. Oh, hello there, Prime Heretic, snuck in. Yeah, it is. It's just a hangout, it's just a chill. But hold on a sec. Hold on a second. With beer. Bam 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 bam. Settings. So we're increasing on the volume marginally. Is that any better? Can I have one blink for yes, two for no? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Let's go up a little bit more anyway. So that, there you go, try that. Is that any better? Does that sound clearer? Well done. A little, but not too much. Okay. Let's go up some more. How about now? Now. I'm hitting the higher, or I'm even hitting the reds now. So normally I sort of linger in the middle. I had to turn the input levels up on my mic before. That is better. Okay. I've been painting 4 more dreadnoughts tonight. Excellent. No worries. As I say, when I'm really focusing, voice level, you mean? Yeah, on the audio mixer. Chat always wants the reds. we're definitely in the reds because I'm just sitting there going, boo, right up there. Sounds better. Okay. Well, I'm glad to assist in that. We did have some sound issues the other day, but I don't know what happened there. But all the settings seem to be a little bit off from what I remembered. Pardon moi. Better, way better. There you go. So that's good. What are you painting Blood Bowl dudes again, boss? So we've got Francois with his War Griffin's Knight. Arnold's got his Dreadnoughts. And what was the thing about Phil? Well, Phil's recovering from his floor laying exploits. Prime Heretic. What are you up to, buddy? Thanks. Well, that's one project on the desk at the moment. I'm painting a boss rat. You get those little rats sorted, sir. Little ratty. Also floor related, trying to figure out how to finish off my garage floor. Well, what will you be doing in said garage? Is it purely for car storage, or you turn it into like a man cave type thing? We occasionally have installed flooring into converted garages. Doing some Dark Angels as well. So there's nothing wrong with having multiple projects on the go as well. Always handy to get on with multiple. Because say when you get bored of one thing, you can just flip over and do something else for like an hour or so, and then flip back. Much like I was doing just a little while ago with the paint theory. Well, the experimentations. I was hoping that my friend who asked for that was going to be popping in and hanging out just to see what mess I'm making, working out how to paint that sort of mottled dead flesh. Sticking a motorbike in there, I've had it screeded and damp proofed, so now thinking I should yeah, epoxy layer would be pretty cool. If you do like a proper like resin floor, because that's quite popular at places. Well, we don't do it at my place, but we've had people come in who work in that sort of thing, and they showed us examples of their work. Especially like where people put stuff like they had like 2 pence pieces all across the floor, and then resin, clear resin over the top of it. Someone put CDs, records, and then just varnished over it. Not varnished, resin over them, because it's a hard, tough surface. Stinks when you're doing it, but it does take a fair amount of abuse. I like to batch paint, but hate doing whole squads of near identical models. Instead, I choose 10 different models that have the need the chemical colours. Yeah. So if you're doing like a company, you're doing 10 models from 10 different companies, 10 different squads within the company. Was that? Ba, 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 ba. Don't know if keep that going. So it's not always like 100% perfect, but as I said, I don't freak out, and I go, all right, well, I'll just tidy it up and then move on. I've tried like certain schemes, like sometimes when I've worked on a scheme, like when I was doing House Veroni nights for Adeptus Titanicus, I would actually paint the entirety of the armor plates in Liberator Gold, and then fill in the bits with the it was like Orc Shade Flesh or something contrast, and it works really well. And so it's a lot easier to do it that way than picking out colours. But then certain colours you can't necessarily do that with, like grey over gold's not really going to work, especially because I'm using the thinner stuff on this for ease. So I just got to do it the traditional way. And I got told quite matter of factly that out of all the people that do moan about trim on Titans, because of the sheer amount of Titans I've done, I have absolutely no right to moan because of them. Because I brought it on myself. So yeah, so sorry about that little nudge there. But if you're doing dire wolves, don't stick the weapons arms on. It'd be a lot easier for you. Lesson learned. Not that I'm going to get that many more of these anyway. Most of my Legios have them in most cases. Some of them have a couple. Well, Audax have 3 because they utilise them a lot more. And okay. Basically, yes, it's Dark Angels. Everyone gets green, bone, black, and red to some varying degrees. Yes. Stinks when you're doing it for free and for 3 months after. Yes. It does at that. It's a stinky little thing, but once it's done and set and cured and all that palaver, it's done. I didn't say anything about it not smelling. So there will be a little bit of tidy up once I've just finished. The other thing is once I've done the wash phase of things, I do tend to re-stipple over like what I did with the thing. So you do tend to see it more on once I've gotten to that phase. Oh, bugger. Forgot. Weapons. That's going splendidly. I can't get my words out at the moment. It's been a weird couple of days. Been very tired. Sleep elusive. I know a couple of people in the chat have been suffering the same sort of situations through various reasons. Some sort of like sleep epidemic. Oh no. Right, Dawnstone. So, where's my brushes? You lot, bugger off. Honestly, get out of the way. Right. Let's get in those little I'd say mistakes. It was just basically me just being a little bit clumsy. And here are a few youths running amok outside in the park. Did say about the new Inquisitor models they were showing off. Well, not Inquisitor models, but they are Inquisitors. Well, they look like Inquisitors for the Warhammer TV stuff. I do. I'm hearing a lot of people talking recently about obviously things like AOS. AOS have some of the best looking models in, you know, hobbydom, full stop. They really do sort of get some really nice characterful looking models, kits, and obviously, but then same token, I was watching the Kierans on the Kieran show the other night, and we're talking about like obviously with like Skaven Tide, there you have like some variations in some of the models you get for the Skaven, but then like the vast majority of them are pretty much similar rank and file style look. So you still got that to deal with, but what do you expect? You can't have it all, unfortunately. So I'm just checking. So it's been sent through. So it was I do apologise. Sorry. Yeah, so like with AOS, some of the mod, like even I have AOS models, um, but they are more because I was just so taken by them, and I couldn't resist. I couldn't help it because I don't play AOS. It's just that I really like the models, so you know it's allowed. It's a hobby. You can do that sort of stuff. All part of your you know hobby experience. where you sort of can venture off and do other things apart from your main projects. So yeah, still thinking about maybe some Bretonians, just because I do like knights, like not only like 40k knights, but also traditional knighty knights or fantasy knights. But that will be like a little sorbet project. That if I do them, it will just be like, just one or two maybe, or even just one really. Me, some AOS ranges are nice, but many are just kind of me. It's the same with all ranges, to be fair. They can't always be like home runs all the time, but the vast majority of my sort of hobby friends that do like both AOS and other games as well, they always seem to come to the fact that AOS models really do stand apart, especially like, again, like Warcry, and like other sort of special edition games they bring out. To be honest, I've got 60 old clan rats upstairs, and then maybe 10 different models. Of the 40 in Skaven Tide, there'll be maybe 10 to 15 duplicated models, and the rest will be unique. Which you kind of, again, rank and file, hordes, there's only so much you can do. Warcry, in my opinion, has the overall best looking models in game, percentage wise. Yeah, but again, like with people using those models, I've seen people use them as part of their sort of other armies in like fantasy and what shenanigans. Even Blood Bowl has some rather lovely models in their ranges. Even like admittedly, like I've got one Blood Bowl team, which was Crystal's fault, because she inspired me to do it by painting some Black Hawks, and I thought, sod it, and I got myself a Black Hawk team, and I really like, even though they're not just a basic sort of team, I just like the aesthetic of them. Nice chunky monkeys, orkies, naughty orkies. Yeah, the new ones are insanely nice. I'm currently commission painting a lot of Skaven. That's kind of understandable because there's so many of the little buggers. You go Horde, that's where you got to pay the price. Let's get those bits that I missed. My gnomes look great, but my lizardmen team is terrible. Well, it looks terrible or just plays terribly. So, I'll say that Amazons that Crystal painted recently are really nice. She put a lot of time and effort into those. For it was NAF, wasn't it? I think you went to. But there are so many great looking, like again the ones with all the badgers and squirrels and stuff. Like that was the names, wasn't it? Teams that came out recently. They were really cool. Ridiculous. And there was a goose as well, wasn't it? Honk. We're back to the honks again. It's Chrissy gone. Both. They have no front and back for downed and stunned. That's known how to get it for the foxes. That's fair. I think, you know, Games Workshop did sort of cotton on to the fact that most hobbyists love a gimmick. And when they brought out, like, that's why in AOS I've got Deepkin, because the whole thing about elves going into battle with their pet fish just amused me on so many levels. So I got a lot of the characters. I didn't get any of like troops on it because I had no intention of playing them in game. I just wanted to paint them, and that was my little sorbet project a couple of years ago when they came out, to sort of distract me from Titans, I guess, and whatever else in like Heresy and stuff. But absolutely bonkers. Yeah, hold on. Little dude. He's a little squiddy friend, or octopus friend with the knife. Club. That's a bit dusty as well. Yeah, I just absolutely thought that was nuts. You gonna focus again for me? You gonna focus? Yeah. It's quite dusty because I've got them on my shelves. But little dudes. I'm looking for burrows. Yeah, I've got some burrows and badgers stuff that I painted in lockdown. Also my little shelf. Little Christmas gobbo dude. It was one of Crystal's little paint-alongs, and that little dude. So I went and replicated what I could of the box art with him as best I could, the Shadow Seer. I've had that since I was 18 years old, but I only repainted it the other year. Oh. There's some lovely minis. Yes, there are. Maybe it's my fault for painting them all the same type of lizard, but they do look obviously different to me. Well, that's the thing. As long as you're happy with them, although you don't sound that happy at times with your lizards. Previous message. But yeah, say when you see them on a tabletop, you're not going to notice the time and effort that you put into them. It's very rare. Like when you're in like Warhammer World and you're looking at all the stuff in the cabinet. So like when you see Louise's Sphinx type thing, it's there. You look at it. But if you was in a game situation, you're not really a lot of time spending a lot of time. Like obviously, admittedly, you might with that one, yes, it would stand out. But rank and file, you could spend hours upon hours on rank and file models, and nobody will bat an eyelid. They'll just basically say remove them off the table as a casualty. So, but you know, it's your hobby, it's your choice. You put as much time or as little time into it as anything. You will always know. So it was I got it wouldn't say necessarily a backhanded compliment, but years ago when I was doing my Raven Guard for Heresy, I used to do like the tribal markings on some of the models. Not all of them, just some of them, and I was using quite a dark grey over sort of like Corvus black type coloration. Although it wasn't Corvus black. They didn't have Corvus black at the time, so I was actually using it was a Humbro number 33 matte black. So I was using that, and then I was like dry brushing it with a grey, dark grey, and then washing it, sort of thing. But then I was using the tribal markings, like on the legs and maybe on a shoulder pad type thing, which I used Esching grey. So again, really dark. And once I went over with the Nuln Oil, it sort of toned it in. So unless you are picking up to look at it, it didn't really come through on photographs that I posted and all that. You could see they look, nice enough. But I was in it was Wayland Games when they had a sort of brick and mortar store in Southend, and it was doing first sort of Heresy campaign day they done there. So I think so it's 2,000 points, armies and stuff. So we were all in there, and Daz, who ran the store, he's now the lead painter for Wayland, well, Warcradle Studios, which is part of Wayland Games. He was the manager there, and he came over and he was having a look. I said, "Oh, here's my Raven Guard I was telling you about." And he's picked them up and he's looked at them, and he literally said like, "Oh, they're so much better in the flesh," sort of thing, because you can't see those details in a And I've always tried to get a good camera phone for taking photographs of my models, but you still lose that little bit to them. And until you've got it in your hand and you're looking at it and you go, wow, that is actually, there's more to this than I expected, sort of thing. So it's a nice little sort of, oh, that's a lot better than I than I imagined, sort of thing, because you can't really see it in the photograph, but in the flesh, yes, you can. For fox sake, yeah. For fox shake, one of those points was really called a paint, exactly. Well done on those diamonds. Yeah, that was I learned from the best, who's Crystal. She loves checkers, so I just changed it to diamonds the way she does them. I don't think I ever actually told her that either, but well done, boss. No fox given. Hey, Master Mouse, how are you? Master Mouse, if you go onto my stories on Instagram, I shared a thing earlier on, which is Mouse PI. You watch it, it's actually a computer game, which is, well, actually, I'll see. I can't, obviously, I'll so it's all in like black and white. Oh, sorry. No. But yeah, you're just going around like Doom style Call of Duty sort of things with all the different like cartoon weapons. Mr. Mars, I was wondering at the walks, what rules are used? Is it 10th edition? No, it is not. It is Adeptus Titanicus rules that we use. Um, so we do simplify certain aspects to the game. So like, unless otherwise specified, normally we have different explosion rules. So it's you can still explode, but it's not as devastating as normal rules. And it was done that way purely for if you've turned up and you have one Titan, you're part of a mana pool, and one of the guys next to you explode and take you out. It's not a nice feeling, because like you've spent all that time and money building and painting your Titan, and you indirectly get obliterated. So we toned it down a tad. So you can still get hit, but it's not as devastating as it could be. We have done games in the past where we have done full rules. So we've done a couple of them now. But mostly it is basic, like you still roll for reactor. So the part of the advanced rules where you roll for your reactor dice for pushing reactors, and obviously when you're doing draining weapons and stuff or draining effects. So you still have to have your dice and still have to keep track of your reactor because it will have an effect. But when you do like meltdowns, it's really hard to do a full meltdown. You can do like magazine detonations and stuff. We don't generally have fooling involved unless we're doing full rules. And also with full rules, that also includes stratagems as well. But there would be a limited selection of stratagems. And again, on the simpler side of things, because the reason why we simplify it is that there isn't any sort of, it runs smoother. Obviously, at the end of the day, it's all about being tactical enough to move your Titans and then get shots off on things that can't shoot you back, and rolling dice. So as a basic game, it's still enjoyable, it's still playable. We don't necessarily use Legio rules and mana pool rules. Again, it depends on the occasion. So not all walks. So if you are attending a Titan walk, always make sure with one of the admin team what's being expected, sort of thing. It might even go down to the day where we'll say, okay, we'll run it with this, we'll run it with that. It's all down to the general feel, basically. A book does come in handy because you can look up stuff, because you have the hot sheets that you get in the like AT box. So you get 2 hot sheets. So that'll give you all the basics rules you need. But it's when you need to check like keywords and stuff like that. But generally, there will be several people with books at Titan Walks anyway, because they like to have books on hand for that exact purpose, especially if they're using weapons that might have things like quake on concussion, so you know what's what. Or if you're using again, this happened to me at the Salute Walk this year, where my opponent was using the harpoons, Ursus claws, and he was doing a combined, so basically he had 4 Ursus claws shooting 1 target. Now he knew the rules for that you add on +1 to the strength with each additional thing, with each additional Ursus claw, targeting the same target. He also knew that it automatically hits the legs. You don't have to roll to hit. You roll to hit, but it automatically hits the legs. But what he didn't know is what happens if on your armor penetration roll you roll a 1. So yes, that means you don't damage the Titan that you've targeted. So yeah, he knew. Oh right, it's a 1. But yeah, but that means they hit this. Yes, but a 1 always fails. 1s always foul. 6 always hits. So it doesn't matter if you roll a 1 and it takes you to the strength requirement that you need to penetrate. It's a 1. It does not penetrate. It's a glancing hit. Sort of thing. The thing that he didn't know was that if you roll a 1 with an Ursus Claw, it's really bad for the person firing the Ursus Claw. And he had 3 Titans firing Ursus Claws, so as they all basically all fudged with that 1 die, with that 1 roll. So basically, he should have then, okay, he doesn't penetrate, he's failed the roll, he then takes, I think it's a D3 devastating hits to the legs per participant, because of basically they had to be in locked position or whatever, or being dragged or whatever. And then you have to roll to see if you break the fucking weapon. So to deactivate a Ursus Claw, you're rolling basically the strength of the weapon plus the die roll. So if you roll more than, I think it's 8 or 9, so if you roll like, you know, if it's strength 6 and you roll 3, the weapon's deactivated. The problem with Ursus Claws then is it's a specialist weapon. And if you deactivate a specialist weapon, it's broken. You cannot repair it. So knowing the rules, having the rules to hand, it's very handy, because players do tend to only remember the rules that affect how devastating they are and not any negatives. And I wasn't aware of Ursus Claws because I trusted that they knew them. So yeah, because the next turn those same Ursus Claws killed a Titan that they shouldn't be able to kill because they should have all been broken. So yeah, it does help having books. You can pick them up cheap enough off of eBay pretty much. Make sure you don't get the hard copy. You want the softback one because that's the updated one after the first lot of FAQs. Anywho, let's get back to painting. Just got a quick tidy. Sorry about bashing the thing there. My bad. I recently picked up a Warhound to go with the Warlord. Nice! I do like Warhounds. Looks like I'm going to need to read some of the rules. There is actually what I always recommend to players, and I always watch these prior to a walk, is Tabletop Standard a couple of years ago did a how-to guide, and it's like several videos. They're actually all linked. So if you do look for how to play Adeptus Titanicus Tabletop Standard, they'll all be on there, and they'll go through each phase of the game so you know what you're actually doing. And I always watch them, as I said, as a refresher, so you know what you're actually getting yourself into. I like my Phantom Titans. You'll have to let me know when it turns back into epic. Well, if you had Phantoms in the big scale, we actually have rules for Phantoms for our Titan walks. So we've now had about 4 or 5 Titan walks with people bringing Phantoms and Revenant Titans along to games and participating. They are quite tasty. As to the big game, who knows? If they do bring it out, it won't be for a few years because they want to rinse the heresy as much as possible. But I do know, and this is out in the open anyway, because it was James Hewitt was interviewed a couple of years ago by the painting phase, and he even said that when he done the rules for Adeptus Titanicus, he also done Xenos rules as well. So they have rules and stuff, but until such a time as they want to ping them in, we'll just have to wait. Oh, bugger, I just realised I haven't painted the bloody gold on that bit. Armour Cast Phantom. When I was a wee lad getting involved in all this shenanigans, I did have several of the epic Phantom Titans because I absolutely love Phantom Titans. I had like the Warlock Farseer Titan as well. I had one of them. Had 3 Phantoms because they're all lead, so they're all like heavy as anything. You could kill a man, but they were glorious. The Reavers. I've actually I bought a metal Reaver off of eBay. Just haven't gotten round to building and painting it. I've actually got 2 because I've got one from Ivy as well. I might have to. Well, I will have to do some reworks. Yeah, Reavers were my first Titan love, but Phantoms are very, very close. I've got 2 of the epic 40k Milk Float Phantoms. Milk Float Phantoms? No, I've gone through several stages of mass extinctions of hobby, so I gave away a lot of my stuff over the years. When I thought, no, that's it, I've had enough, and I've come out. So all my epic stuff went, because I had like loads of like Eldar, you know, all the different like tanks they brought out. Shadow Swords were my favourite tank in lead. Didn't have no Bane Blades, just Shadow Swords. I just like the idea that they were Titan hunting tanks. But yeah, I had 3 Phantoms and 1 Warlock Titan. Had no Revenants. Just when they brought out the new Eldar tanks. Although my favourite one was the Wave Serpent, the one that looked like an iron. That was the best thing ever. I love that. I'm looking for a good deal on an armor class Reaver. Yeah, the thing is, my mate's got an armor class Reaver and Warhound, and obviously they're all based on the original, you know, designs and stuff, but they just don't look the same nowadays. You know, compared to what they've got, it just doesn't look and feel the same. So I'm a little bit snobbish maybe, but I'm not that keen on them anymore. I was never keen on the original Warhound because just wasn't. Beetleback Warlords, yeah, because they were the ones that you got in the box generally. I only had one Reaver, even though it was my favourite Titan. I only had one metal Reaver. And I always remember when I bought it, it was at Games Workshop Plaza in London, Oxford Street, because that was my local Games Workshop. Because I lived, you know, northeast London / Essex in Chinkford, and I used to go on a tube train into London because I found out when I first found White Dwarf, which was number 120, the one with Deathwing on the front. So once I found that, because in the back I had all the listings, I thought, oh, there's one in London, Oxford Street. I've been to Oxford Street on the tube. I'll go down there and investigate. And on a Saturday, I would pay like £3 for a travel card, go into London and go to the plaza and just look at the stuff and hang out and whatever. And when I bought my Reaver there, I remember the guy, a staffer that worked there, was looking at it and he was going, "Oh yeah, this is one of the this one's one of the rare ones because it had this weapon loadout. So it had the top mount missile launcher, Inferno, well, turbo laser, and I think it was Gatling blaster, or what was considered as a Gatling blaster. So that's was that because you used to have arm-mounted missile pods as well. The armor class Wave Serpent is cool. I've got Tempest anti-grav tank, which I think is now called a Scorpion. Yep. I prefer the dog face plasma blast dildo armor class Warhound to the Forge World one, but I'm holding out for a plastic GW Warhound. Well, hopefully one day. Right. So wash. So right, where's my brush gone? Oh, dang it. Just got to do a quick. So again, not paying attention. Not that you can see much of this once the weapons are in place, but I know it's there. It's really odd having that there because that's more associated with a little hatch there with like Imperial Knights. I'm just touching up those little bits that I continually forgot about, though I might have been distracted. Which isn't hard to do, especially when we're talking Titans. It's so easily distracted, it's criminal. Okay. I'm looking for the Melter Gun Power Fist Armor Cast Reaver at about $700 price range with its original book or box. There was, what was it, the original metal Thunderhawk that they produced, which came in a box, and somebody sold one of them for a ridiculous amount. It was like $50,000. It was like the other year, wasn't it? Oh, God, I'm terrible tonight. Probably alcohol. There's definitely alcohol involved in this stream because I am currently drinking Jack Daniel's Honey and Pepsi Max in the can that you see me drinking because I just poured it in there. And then obviously the big bottle of Moretti. I did also have a Jack Daniel's Honey and Pepsi Max before that. So yeah, I'm quite toasty. What, Squidmore sold it or he bought it? $25,000. Jesus. Well, it is a collector's edition type thing, isn't it, really? It's crazy money. Sold. Auction for charity. £40,000 for. Well, I was talking of investments. I was in a Discord hangout the other week with the guys from Maximal Fire and Johnny Core, who runs Battle Bling. Um, so this is in like a Discord hangout sort of thing, as I just said. Um, but he said, "Hey Lee, how many Titans have you painted?" I said, "Well, at the time, well, it was only the other week, so it was like 167 sort of thing that I've built and painted and that." And basically, he was saying, right, yeah, there's some guy who has commissioned this. I can't remember the name of the company, but he's commissioned them to paint 160 Warlord Titans, AT scale Titans, for him. Like, all the bits and pieces, and like each Warlord is, including purchasing the kit, building all the bits and pieces and all that, you're looking sort of £400 to £500 each. So yeah, somebody's going to have a lot more Titans than me, and have spent a lot more money on getting them. But Jesus monkeys, that is a lot. I personally have only been asked twice about commission painting Titans. Well, one person just asked, "Oh, I'd really like to buy one of those Titans off you," and I went, "Well, not for sale. They're mine." But someone else recently has basically like put it forward. I politely declined because I said I don't do commission painting. It's a very stressful sort of thing for me because I just paint for me. I don't, I would be, paranoid, and I'd feel bad if somebody didn't like what I did, and I couldn't live with myself. So that's why I don't do commission painting, because I'm not a great painter. I might be prolific, I might be quick, but there's a lot more better painters in the world out there. So I just like to paint Titans. What can I say? Now, if, however, I was to sell my Titans, that's a different kettle of fish. Because that's something else. You're buying something that is, that I've built, collected over these years, put a lot of time and effort into them, and they're mine. So that automatically puts the price up tenfold. Oh yeah. That's some disposable income right there. Yeah. Yeah, I have a lot of models, but I've been in the hobby for 36 years. Yeah. I would have had a lot more models if I hadn't gone through several mass extinctions. As I said, I literally just stopped the hobby and just gave the stuff away. Um, so, but I've been pretty much back in full time, I guess, since 2002 with like Inquisitor models and Tau, because I love me some Gundam stuff, mecha robots and samurai, and that whole aesthetic. Just thought, yes, I like that. I'll have me some of that. So I got myself some Tau, and over the course of years, I got myself lots of Tau of all various shapes and sizes. Now that I did sell. I sold that last year, and that funded the purchase. Was it last year or the year before? That was the year before, actually. That allowed me to pay for my car's MOT and insurance and a Reaver Titan, and I had a little bit left over because I sold all my Tau and a company strength Space Marine second company of Raptors that I'd been working on since about 2007, because I wasn't playing with them. I wasn't really playing 40k anymore. Sort of lost it a little bit with 9th edition. So my mate was just like finished his gaming room in his house, and he didn't have any armies for him and his son. And I said, well, if he's interested, I've got some armies that I want to get rid of. And I sold them at cost of what I paid for them. So bear in mind, I bought these over the course of years, and not necessarily at GW prices, because I normally would have bought them like Battle Force sets and stuff like that, and like friendly game stores offline and all that sort of stuff. So I literally sold them at cost, even though they were painted and thousands of hours over the course of the years. Yeah, so he got a result, I got a result, because it's money that's already been spent. You know? My dude keeps changing his colour scheme mid-paint. Most of the time I'm painting something for the tabletop, not for art. Sometimes, though, it's nice to push your skills and try and make something awe-inspiring. Yeah, that's true. There's like several Titans that I've put a lot more sort of time and effort into. So like my side Titan, and especially like certain War Masters and Iconoclast that I have, especially for my Ignitum Battle Force, because my one of them I put into Salute and got a made the cut award. So although I didn't place, I made the cut, so I got onto like the final table. So it's like what Warhammer do now, where you get commendation. So you get like the pin badge, which I've got a pin badge for the first and only time that I entered Golden Demon. I quit when I was ahead. I thought, I wouldn't be able to. I definitely wouldn't be able to do a Slayer sword. I would literally have to focus on painting and improving my skill for like several years before even contemplating that, because I know some of the guys that have won the Slayer sword and they are a whole different level altogether. I'm slowly painting the Artel Ion boss, to be fair. That's fair. That's my stretch project. Trying to buy the EPUB of the Titanic and Flyless Legios, and there is no buy option. I need to buy the actual book and then pay an extra 20 for the EPUB. I'm not sure on that. I don't do a lot of EPUBs, unfortunately. I'd look into that if I was you, buddy. Just double check. Loyalist Legio's book just basically gives you all the rules and like paint schemes and lore backgrounds and upgrades and stuff. So it is a good book compared to what you had to buy beforehand. You know, the Loyalist Legio's and Traitorous Legio's book is worth it, sort of thing. Heading off now, Lily. Sorry, wasn't more talking. No problem. Thank you for hanging out, boss. It's always a pleasure to have you here. Doesn't matter. You don't have to talk. There's no prerequisites to talking. You can just hang out and chill. But thank you for hanging out and chilling. I'll speak to you later, boss. Take care. Like you can see that was that hand there. What? Mars. No, boss. Sweet dreams. I hope B sleeps through the night as well. That's this castigate I'm working on. I have half of one large Shinta plan. I want to hand paint a mural, but not decided on what yet. Yeah, it looks like murals and stuff. You got to think of like personal iconography for the scion within the knight. So, you know, him represented as a warrior fighting a dragon. You know, that sort of iconography. You know, think heraldic devices and stuff, as they are kind of like that. I'm French egging too. Have good rest for the stream. Oh, thanks very much. Thanks for dropping in anyway, dude. And I hope you your commission goes quickly and smoothly. Ross. Right. So. house. That's the left front pauldron. Being with. I think you get it on the Warhammer digital site. House is right front pauldron. The rear side pauldron is Imperial Allegiance and the Mech House. Right. Let's see. Well, I think it's almost 11:15. I think we'll give it a go then. Well, I've got an early start in the morning anyway. You know, even though kids aren't at college, I still have to go get to them early doors. But yeah, it's been an eventful evening. Lots of chatting and nice to have some good conversations going on. Thank you, Francois and Prime Heretic, Phil, who's gone now, Master Mouse, you, Crystal, she's already gone, Chrissy, Tobe, who was here, and several others. Luke, who's disappeared. Yeah, so it's still Wednesday, isn't it? Yeah, so I'll be back on Saturday night, usual time, 8 PM onwards. Probably painting Titans, no doubt. I've got these dudes to sort out, and and Arnold, thank you for dropping in. And then, yeah, I think I've still got some dystopian war stuff as well. We'll probably get on with that. Yeah, there's so much to do, so little time. But thank you all for coming in. It's been I've enjoyed myself. Thank you very much, and I hope you've had a good time. Now we've sorted out the sound, so so right, we will bid you all adieu, sweet dreams, and I hope you have a pleasant rest of the week, and we'll see you again on Saturday. Take care, everyone. And once he gets his mouse to work, not Master Mouse, my mouse. Catch you all later. Take care. Bye.